Welcome everyone, thank you for joining. My name is Bill Dow and I wanted to talk in this video about remote project management. Let's be clear, remote project management is here to stay, right? There's no turning back now. Remember, project managers have been remotely project managing since the 2000s during the whole Y2K scenario. But with leadership, executives, management, and customers now being remote as well, it's made it much more challenging and puts a lot more dynamics and responsibilities on the project manager. They just have to be an amazing communicator nowadays more than back in that day. Project managers need to keep team members, leadership engaged on the project, and their communication skills will be tested like never before, right? But why is that? Why is remote project management much more difficult and so difficult if we've been managing projects since 2000? Well, remember, back in 2000, project management and project managers were remote, the teams were remote, but like I just said, the executives, the customers, the leadership team, your management team, they all stayed in the office. So our customers, our operational people, right, they were there. But with COVID, right, it moved everyone away. It moved everyone back to home offices. And therefore the dynamics and the communication skills of project managers became much more relevant and much more prevalent, right? So I think that's the right word. I'm gonna keep going. But really what I'm saying is the challenges for project managers now to communicate effectively is much more challenging. So what's another reason why it's so difficult? Well, we had a little bit of back then, but we have to now fire up Teams or Zoom. We got to have all of our communications over this technology. I said it before in videos, you can't stop in and walk down a hall and stop in someone's office or someone's cube, right? It's just not going to happen. Therefore, all of our communications, all of our presentations, all of our decks, our phase gates decks, or our steering committee decks, they all have to be much more refined, much clearer, better to understand, and you've got to get your messaging across now in a much clearer state because you're doing it over Teams. You're doing it over Zoom. We're also seeing a high level of employee turnover. So we're seeing this quiet quitting, right? Where people are refusing to go back into the office. They want those remote jobs. Those remote jobs are here to stay. But again, it makes it much more difficult for remote project management for project managers. And so what do you do about that, right? And so we've got that coming up. But again, I think it's really important to understand that remote project management is here to stay. Quick reminder, if you like these topics, you like these videos, right, and you're getting value, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and of course hit that little bell because I'm releasing new videos all the time. Okay, but before I continue, I want to ask you a question. Are you finding remote project management much more difficult these days than back in the day? And you may or may not have been project managing back in Y2K, but I just want to find out, where are you guys at now? So comment below, but also in my community tab, you're going to see a poll where I'm asking these same questions. I'd love to see your poll results as well. Are you planning to go back in the office? Is that something you're planning to do? Will you quietly quit if they're forcing you back in the office? Really interesting. Lots of topics on that and lots of excitement in that topic. So I'd love to hear more. Okay, so now we know it's harder. We get that. But what can we do about this? Right? What do we do about it? Well, there's a couple things that I've done and I want to share with you as well. First, I strongly believe that project managers have to set expectations, set clear goals, and set timelines for their projects. Yes, I've seen it and said it before, you have to have a solid structure. When we think about the art and science of project management, this is science, okay? You've got to have a schedule, a risk log, a SharePoint site, Power BI, Tableau. You've got to have a reporting. You have to have dashboards, right? Got a great course on Power BI dashboards if you're interested. But again, You've got to have that solid foundation and drive your project from a pure science perspective, especially in this remote world. You've got people in different time zones and different countries. They're going to want to get to your information at all hours of the day. That's number one. Number two, project managers must provide clear and direct feedback to their resources. If they're knocking out of the park, tell them. If they're not knocking out of the park and you got a problem with them, don't let it fester. Get on a call, have that direct feedback to them. They may or may not know that they're doing that. That's okay. Get in there and really provide that direct feedback to them. It's going to be critical that you get this set up and you have that direct feedback. And if they're nailing it, tell them that as well. And finally, brainstorming. Zoom, Teams, the other products out there, you've got to brainstorm more. You've got to get the resources that are on your projects that are remote. You've got to get them connected to your project. You've got to get the buy-in that you need. You want to make sure that they are all part of what they're trying to deliver for your project. It's going to make a huge difference in their engagement. It's going to make a huge difference in how they're connected to the project. What do you think? Does that make sense? Well, I've been doing this kind of stuff for years. I wanted to share this with you. I love the remote project management concept. You can be in a coffee shop, you can be in your car, put a Zoom background on. No one's going to be the wiser. And that's great. And so what I wanted to do is wrap up. Please like and subscribe. But what's more important is watch my next video on how project managers can have influence without authority on their projects. It's listed right here on my channel. I want to thank you very much, and I'll see you online.